Peter Gallagher joins us in Cyber Hall from his home in Los Angeles.
Peter, I have to start with something you shared with my producers. You believe your entire family got coronavirus? What happened?
Except for our daughter. I mean, there's no way we can be sure. Our daughter was starring on Broadway in Jagged Little Pill, and her co-star was tested positive for it, and her other fellow that she gets quite intimate with was tested positive for it, and she lost her sense of smell. And our son was exposed, and I got very sick at the end of from up in Vancouver where we were shooting Zoe's. I was so careful to everybody was dropping like flies, and I had to sing, so I was being very careful. Washing my hand, doing those back in January, and but I got a real chest thing going on, and then my wife got the terrible headaches, and so with any luck we may have gotten through it, but we're behaving as if we never had it, and we're taking all the precautions because no crazy thing about this, nobody knows anything.
Peter, I was so fascinated to learn that your mother helped develop penicillin, and here we are at this time where people are questioning science and not knowing if they should rely on it. What's your perspective? Is it frustrating, especially being raised by a scientist?
Well, you know, it's funny. Yes, my mother was involved in developing penicillin they developed the Romansky method, which saved a lot of lives during the Second World War. And my dad was waiting, and they made the discovery on D-Day, and my dad was waiting to land on the beach in France. So to see science so easily ignored or cast aside in favor of instinct. So I can't imagine what my mom and dad would think right now after it had cost them and their families so much.
You are hunkered down with your wife. You've been married, what is it, 30? How many years have you been married?
225 years.
But who's counting? What have you learned?
Actually, we'll be married 37 years in a week. Oh, next week.
37 years next week.
Oh,
what have you learned about each other in this quarantine, shelter in place time that we're in?
I learned, first of all, that I love my wife more now than I ever have. And that I'm really glad that we have all this practice that a lot of other couples don't have. I worry about other couples because my wife, this is like being out of work, which fortunately I haven't worked much, but we have some practice at being home together when the rest of the world is at work and doing things. And we're kind of a good team. The tough thing is our kids are on the other side of the country, so we miss them terribly, but I think they're probably okay without us.
I think so. You know what? That's the thing, even about your show, your character not being able to communicate, and then through this imagination of Zoe, they are able to connect. Think about it. You talked about your mother in World War II. The technology we have now and the ability to stay in contact with our family and friends, what would we have done 30 years ago, 20 years ago? And the show really taps into on what connection means. What does it mean to have that family bond?
It's what drew me to the show and what I found so powerful about it. And for me, the most fun you can have is when the story you're telling has a place in the world that you live in.
Yeah.
And what really drew me to this story is in this crazy divided time where we're encouraged to see the worst in each other and condemn others and suspect the problems with the guy down the street and so on. And we're so divided. This is a show that is all about connection. It's all about the things that connect us, all the things that we share, and not just the hit songs, but we do share them. They reside on us, and they excite all the same feelings, no matter who you are, or where you're from, or if you're short, you're tall, whatever it is. And so that really, really was powerful for me.